just a quick close-up of this incredible artwork that is, you can see this in the background of all of my videos. This artwork is available on my Etsy website, where I can individually personalize it to include the planetary configuration of your unique birth chart. And then I truly believe this artwork becomes like a portal, a vortex of energy, that this is really visualizing what your birth chart looks like in the sky. You can see a close-up, there is the zodiac signs in here, and then each color, each nakshatra, each constellation, like the deities, everything in here has symbolic meaning. And for this full moon that I'm going to be speaking about in a moment, it is in the sign of Taurus, which is just here, as you can see, and in the nakshatra called Mrigashira, which is this one right here. You can see close up the constellation, and this is the deity, the Soma, the moon god. I'll just zoom out again. So yeah. Hello everyone, my name is Lakna. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. In this video, I want to talk about the upcoming full moon that is happening on December 15th. And this full moon marks a very pivotal point in December because it is the sort of midway point between the two new moons, a very rare occurrence that is happening in the month of December. This full moon will be the midway point between those two new moons, the first one happening on the 1st of December and the second one on the 30th of December before we start the new year. This full moon happens on the 15th of December. At the same time, Mercury will be stationing to go direct. So this is a very pivotal turning point, an end of a cycle, you could say. This full moon in Vedic astrology is happening in the sign of Taurus at the very last degree, 29 degree of Taurus, in the nakshatra called Mrigashira. So it really is a culmination point of really mastering those Taurian themes. We also have Jupiter very close to this full moon. Jupiter, as well as the full moon, will be really expanding and illuminating a lot to us to do with these Taurus themes. The sun is also at that very last degree of Scorpio and about to move into Sagittarius, which is very interesting. We are sort of coming to a culmination point with these themes to do with Scorpio as well. Mercury is in Scorpio, going to a station to go direct on the day of this full moon as well. So these Scorpio themes versus Taurus, this axis is what we are being asked to really hone in on in our own lives, and this requires really looking into your own personal birth chart, where you personally have the signs Taurus and Scorpio in your own chart, which house you have them in. These houses will be having a lot of themes playing out at the time of this full moon and leading up to this full moon. I also really believe that the previous new moon is the beginning of this chapter that we then sort of come to a culmination point at the time of this full moon. And the previous new moon on the 1st of December is going to be in the sign of Scorpio, and of course then we move into the full moon in Taurus. So it is this needing to balance out Scorpio versus Taurus in our own chart, in our own lives, the energies, and yeah, just all of the themes that come up with these two signs. And we all have that in some area of our lives, and we all feel this energy to some extent. If you have any planets in these signs especially, or even any other earth or water signs, they will be aspected by these two signs as well. So some themes that can come up to do with like Taurus versus Scorpio. Taurus is an earth sign, Scorpio is a water sign. So even just thinking about those two elements can say so much. Earth is grounding, it is stable, it's nurturing. Water is flowy, water is cleansing, purifying, emotional. Taurus is more on the practical side of strength and stability and security, whereas Scorpio is more about the emotional strength and stability and security. Both are very important. Both need to be balanced within us. So there is that theme of being stable and comfortable versus growth and change and transformation that is necessary. There's a theme of what we own and possess materially, the possessions and the money and the things that we value, versus shared finances, inheritances, taxes, and debts. This comes up in the sign of Scorpio. There's also themes with Taurus to do with beauty and art and peace and balance and harmony and connections, luxuries as well, and food and enjoying the finer things in life are very Taurian. Some themes that are a bit more Scorpio that we need to balance out is like the occult and the psychological side to life, the hidden mysteries, the spiritual, psychic sort of realms as well, very Scorpionic. So yeah, just a few things to think about, but there's so much more when it comes to balancing out these two axes, and it's going to be different for each and every one of us, and there'll be things coming up in this time. But a few things that I feel are common themes between both Taurus and Scorpio that really need to be balanced within us is, because they are both fixed signs, there is this stubbornness in both of these signs that doesn't want to let go, and they both signs require the need to be more accepting, to be able to feel more free, to be able to let go more in order to grow and move forward in their life and in our life. Like, we all have this to some extent. And there are these themes that come up with both of these signs to do with obsession and possessiveness and attachment and not wanting to let go. And I did mention some of these themes in the previous new moon video. That is sort of the things that are going to be arising and culminating towards this full moon are these really intense and heavy emotions that we have to confront and face and really allow ourselves to feel, so that we can heal them and release them, and then they're not a part of us, they're not consuming us. And the full moon really does bring everything up to the surface. This sign, Mrigashira, the nakshatra that rules this full moon, is ruled by Mars, and Mars will be going retrograde on the 6th of December. So this is a very significant theme, the Mars energy. And Scorpio is ruled by Mars. Scorpio was the previous new moon as well. Mars is the planet of action, our drive, our ambition, the way we move ahead and take aligned action. Mars is the inner defender, protector, and warrior within us all, and how we fight for ourselves and stand up for ourselves. And now that it's going retrograde, it's going back until the 24th of February 2025. It's going back in time, and we are having memories resurfacing and having to re-encounter situations or similar circumstances to reprocess and reintegrate in a more evolved, aligned, higher vibrational way that that to sort of test us to see if we have grown, or to help us grow and to help us heal these situations and see them in a new perspective. These situations from our past where maybe we didn't deal with our Mars energy in the most aligned way. Maybe either we were too reactive, or maybe we didn't stand up for ourselves at all. Maybe we didn't have any boundaries for ourselves. Maybe we didn't see that we were being taken advantage of in that time. And I say this because Neptune will also be going direct at the time that Mars goes back retrograde. Neptune is going to help us take off the rose-colored glasses and to see more clearly the things that have happened to us in our past. And it's not so that we can go and blame this person and that person and all these things that are outside of us, because the ultimate goal right now this month that I feel is coming up is for us to take more responsibility, not more, full responsibility for our life. And no matter how badly anyone or anything outside of you has hurt you, and I'm not saying that they are not in the wrong and that you are to blame. You are not to blame for the things that have happened to you, but you are to take responsibility. And this isn't in a condescending way. This is in a way that is so empowering when we take our power back and realize that we attract certain types of people, certain types of experiences to show us something within ourselves that we need to heal, that we need to address within ourselves. And it's such a difficult thing to grasp, and it is a really intense thing to say to someone who's been abused really badly, to be like, actually, you attracted that, you did that to yourself. And that's not how I'm saying this. What I'm saying is that there's certain things that we experience, maybe when we're young, maybe we're carrying this from our parents' trauma even, maybe it's from past lifetimes even, we don't know. There are certain pain and trauma and wounds that we're holding onto. And then there are certain experiences that we have to go through, as dark as they may be, to teach us something that is happening internally inside of us. And once we accept that, and once we forgive ourselves and forgive whoever has hurt us, we can sort of start that process of healing and letting go. And that is a part of the letting go that is coming up with this full moon, is letting go of the emotional pain. With Taurus, it can even be like physical things that we need to let go of. Like maybe it's physical items that we're holding on to. Like this full moon would be a great time to declutter and cleanse your space if you feel called to do that. So yeah, if you feel called to doing a big clean up, a decluttering of your space, of your wardrobe, of, you know, your home, that this is a really great time to do it with this full moon in Taurus. Another thing with like actual physical, sensual things in our life to reflect on is the things that we consume, and if they are actually assisting our growth and in uplifting us, and if they are serving our highest good. And you know, there's always things, I feel like, in our day and age, like the culture that we live in, like there's so many foods that we consume that aren't serving us. So this is a time to reflect on that, any addictions we have and any attachments to things that are externally bringing us comfort that are not serving us. This is a time to really pay attention to that, because this nakshatra Mrigashira is the deity is Soma, the moon god, who actually holds the divine nectar of enlightenment and bliss. And one of the life lessons of this star is that enlightenment and bliss exists within you. You don't need anything external. But what the lesson is yeah, that it is within you, and you don't need to search for it externally, which a lot of us tend to do. And like, external experiences and exploring and being curious and learning and going to places and trying new things, that is different, that is really important. But when you're latching on to other like external things and becoming attached and consumed and addicted and reliant, you will know if it is serving you and serving your growth. Sometimes external things do assist in our growth. You will know if that is the case, or if it is something that you need to maybe try and even just set the intention to cut back on, to reduce in your life, so that you can rely more on your own strength and your own power and sense of, you know, your security in yourself, and knowing that you have all that you need. You don't need anything outside of you to reach those places of bliss and enlightenment in your life. And you have all of the answers that you need within. Another thing with this star is it is one of there is this symbol of the deer that comes up with Mrigashira, and the deer is so beautiful and peaceful, and also really curious, likes to explore, really movable and really fast. The deer doesn't like confrontation, so that is something to think about. With Mars also retrograde by the time of this full moon, we need to take a look at where we haven't confronted in a healthy way these you know, had healthy conflict and confrontation, to be able to come to resolutions with people and heal things. Because when we don't have that necessary confrontation, that's when we sort of start holding things in, and resentment starts brewing within us. So Mars going retrograde, plus this full moon, plus Mercury going direct, plus it's connected to Jupiter, we are like, just like light bulb moments are happening now to wake us up, to be like, wow, we really need to stand up for ourselves more. We need to have better boundaries. We need to respond and not react to life, and we need to take responsibility. And we don't need to run away from things. We need to face things head on. We don't need to be attached to anything, because we have everything that we need, and we are such powerful beings. We literally hold all that we need to reach that eternal state of bliss and enlightenment. There's nothing outside of us that can actually do that for ourselves. We do that for ourselves, but these other external things, they're just permission slips, really. So yeah, this is all I wanted to share for you all with this full moon. I hope that you have a beautiful month of December. I hope leading up to this full moon that so many realizations come through that are going to assist you to become even higher versions of yourself and more connected to your best version of yourself, and to really live your life in the most aligned, authentic way. I love you all so much. Thank you for connecting with me. Please let me know how your December's going. I love to hear from you all. Let me know your stories, and if this resonates with you. I'm so grateful for all of you, all of my subscribers. Thank you for your support, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.